Okay, so today we're back with
Lakemba.
yes, so we're on 66 Railway Parade. Okay, and we've got a 1.6 to 1.8 price scale. Wow. For the pictures, it's got a big plot size, 682, 4-bedroom home, 2 toilets, a lot of car spaces. I don't see the garage yet, but I'm guessing that we could drive through the back. What else? So zoning's pretty good. We've got an R4 zoning, so potentially you could do multi-dwellings on here, multi-story dwellings. We've got 682 squares, so that's, you can play a lot on this place. You could do a few different developments if you really wanted to. So like they know who's potentially looking for this. So obviously we've got Dean from PRD, so he's marketing it to investors or potentially property developers. That's what he's looking at.
Oh, for sure.
So you're not giving the space ratio to someone who's just wanting to move in.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. So you're giving this information because you know that whoever you're trying to attract for this property, you're looking at investors.
Yeah.
And you're looking at developers. So that's why they're putting these types of information on it. Now, just can't remember. Do you know, like, I think it's for the width because they've got 15.24.
That's tricky, isn't it? Because I know that the minimum requirement, like the lot width for the front is for Lakemba or the nearby suburbs is about 21 meters, I think.
So, I don't know if they're gonna get away with putting up an apartment building on the property.
So would that bring the price down, you reckon?
I don't know if the price is down.
Yeah.
Everybody looks at the price as something, oh, we can argue. Nobody's really trying to argue. It's really how long this market is gonna make the property sit, how long the seller or the vendor is willing to let it sit. So if they're not in a rush to sell, they could stick out. They could go for the 1.9, the 2 mil easy, and somebody's going to come along and buy it because it has potential.
Oh, for sure.
But if they're in a rush, if they want to move, if somebody's died and the grandkids don't care about the 100,000 difference that waiting another month is going to make, it might actually move. Now it really depends on the actual seller and what their idea is about the price that they want to get. If they're willing to, if they're wanting to have a lot of people through the door, I think they could wait it out, to be honest.
So whatever we're looking at, like the house itself right now, we're not really interested. Like at the end of the day, it's gonna be a knockout.
Look, it really depends. Like someone, a couple, if they're earning 400,000 together and they're thinking, okay, we'll move into this place. We just maybe are planning to have kids or have 1 or 2. We've got a good career. This could potentially be a start-off place.
And then down the line.
And down the line, they can develop themselves because they have potential for their income to grow. So, they could do this development really themselves if they wanted to, if somebody was ambitious enough. So if we look at this current plan of what exists, so the garage is right at the back of the property. You've got a carport so people can actually go through. So you can park more than 5 cars. If this is a driveway all the way back there, you can park, I don't know, I'm assuming if the garage is full, another 5 cars all the way out to the front of the property, 5-6 cars. So it's a big property. It's huge.
It's a big property.
It's rectangular. Got a good amount of frontage.
It's just meant for investment.
Well, look, if you're a family who's wanting to move in, let's see what it looks like. Again, I want to give a shout out to Dean and Marcus from PRD. They're marketing this property. So, overall, it's tidy. There's not much that you could say that's really wrong with the place. Inside, for what it looks from the outside, it's pretty neat, pretty well put together. Kitchen is not
very traditional.
It's not.
It's not breaking apart.
Yeah, it's not falling apart. Toilet, you could do, a $10,000-$15,000 upgrade.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's okay. It'll last you.
Yeah.
It's a bit dated.
I was just gonna say, mind you, everything's pretty dated.
Yeah, but look again, that's with the choices, right? That's with choices that people are making, whoever's living in it. If it's tenanted out already, you know, you just need to have vision for yourself, really. You know, even this, like, even, you know, splashing a bit of paint on the walls is gonna spruce up the place, to be honest. Sure. Take out that old carpet, you know, $3,000 worth of laminate flooring. I think, you know, it's gonna spruce it up. It's got a lot of potential. See, I think what they've done is they've done it in some and then they've not done it. So whoever's done a bit of the reno, they've gone, okay.
Extension.
Yeah, I don't know if there's an extension.
Is that an extension, no?
I think it's what existed before. So see, if we look at the outside, let's go back to the roof line. If we go back, see, this is all original. There's no break, there's no metal and terracotta tile. It's all of the original space. So whoever was building here, they had a vision for what their house would look like. And they, back then, would have made it,
like 80s?
They made it a huge property, you know? So their
like
vision
even the bathroom itself, like it's spacious, right?
Very spacious, right? So it's got good bones, good skeleton, brick home. If you wanted to, you could make share housing out of it. There's a lot of rooms in there. Put locks on the door, you know, individually, each person can go in, go out. I think there's a lot of potential there as well. If you just wanted to hold on to the property, if you didn't want to develop it straight away, put some new locks on the door, open it up for share housing. People can come in and go as they please. And then when you're ready to put it into development, you're more than happy to do so when you have the money.
Yeah.
So then we've got that garage, that little carport. Again, there's, you know, potential options that you could do because you haven't used all of the space. So I'm sure you could put on a nice big granny flat and studio space in the back as well if you just wanted to increase that rental yield. You know, if you're thinking $1,000 to $1,200 from this front place if I'm giving it to someone individually, or maybe you could push it up to $1,400 if you're doing room by room. In the back, if you're putting in $200 to $250,000, you're going to get a nice good granny flat. If you're going to put in maybe another $60,000, you get another studio next to it. So that can bump up the rent for another $600 for the granny flat, another $300 to $350 for the studio. So you've got at least $900 there coming from those two things just by putting $310,000 into the property. So it's not that bad. It's just if you have a vision for it for something else, I would just make it a share house or rent it out for a while, save up that extra
what
cash
you're saying, like there's multiple options.
There's a lot of options here.
There's so many things you can do with this.
There's not a lot of options in the sense because it's zoned well. You've got, I think, that 30 meter. You can build up to 30 meters, but you won't be able to because you don't have the frontage. And you're not going to be, if I'm pretty sure both of these sides are apartments. So you're not going to convince these strata properties to go, hey, let's merge and build one big, huge property. It's not going to work. So. You have to play with what you've got. Really. So there are potential options for you to, you know, to do what you think to replicate. You could pull the case that, you know, you've got apartment buildings on the same size blocks next to you. What type of blocks are they really? If we look at the aerial shot. So if we look at, so the property next to it looks like to be similar size to what it is now, and that's an apartment building.
The one next to it is like 3 floors?
So I think it's about 2 floors, but still, you could put the case to council to say that there's an existing property of apartments, so why wouldn't it be possible for us? You'd have to go back and forth, but it is a possibility. But again, this is much better, so you can see how big that property size is. That's why they're able to put up an apartment block, right? So the conversation really is with council and to plead with them to say, look, you've already got somebody existing that's my neighbour that already has apartments. I want to develop apartments there. Why won't you let me? Right? If they let you, then it's fine. You know, because the rezoning is happening. People are doing multi-story dwelling developments here in Lakemba and the surrounding areas, so it's possible, honestly.
Possible.
But what do you think? What's it going to go for? Because it's offers, so Look, auction would be interesting, but offers, I think no one's going to go for that 165. I think that's out of question.
For sure.
People are going to be here or above.
Yeah, definitely. Like when it's on the market, I think it's going to go around that 2.2 mark.
Yeah, so I think if it was at auction, you'd get the one, the number close to that 195, 2 mil. That's probably where it's going to be around.
Yeah.
Look, you're going to get a lot of people.
So much potential. Like I feel like it might go.
But I think the offers, I don't know if it's a smart idea.
Yeah.
Because you want to create a bidding war, but I don't know how many people are going to come to do a bidding war for this property. So I think 192 mil, like you said before, 192 mil is a good number. So let's see. We'll keep an eye on it. But it's definitely going to go above this number.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely not within that range of 1.69.